Welcome to Festpod, the unofficial rock festival guide. I'm Neil Wilkinson with the latest news about your favourite rock festivals, our music guide for the month, and some special things that we've found in Festpod Favourites. So let's welcome my fellow hosts. What have you been up to since we last spoke in North Wales? Rich Holmes.
Hello there, Mr. Wilkinson.
Hello, are you there? Are you all right? You look a bit confused.
I'm here.
Are you sure?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay, right. Yeah, so it's Festpod. It's all right, Rich. It's Festpod. Festpod.
Oh,
at home now.
The podcast thing, right.
Call the nurse.
Yes.
Yes. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. I'm still nursing this just chest infection and throat infection, but I'm getting there. But sorry, I know you are too. So we can give each other sympathy and
Yes.
there.
Yes. Well, I notice you're taking some comfort from a brand new, beautiful Festpod T-shirt.
It's sexy, isn't it? I mean, it's just. It really enhances my bicep, and it's
Yes,
got
that's
lovely,
why you ought to buy one.
lovely Festpod logo emblazoned across the breast area.
Yes.
And it's get on it. They're great. Let's see.
On Rich's breast area and enjoy yourself.
Why not? They're the worst places to be.
Yes. And we've also...
Here comes one of them now.
Wow.
Let's go to Utoxeter and speak to Eamon Short, or Shorty E, as he's sometimes known.
Shorty E, as I prefer to be known. Thank you, Neil.
Is it really? Okay, Shorty E.
Thank you, Neil, for finally using my proper title. I appreciate that. It's only taken
That's
a
all
bunch
right.
of episodes, but, we won't hold it against
Well, I just call you Eamon. It's not.
I mean, that is my legal name. I'll grant you.
Okay.
But,
right.
Shorty E is my preferred kind of street name, if you like.
Oh,
That's what.
is that your
sort of a
graffiti
man
tag?
down.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
yes.
An S and an E for short because I can't spell. And Shorty E is quite long, to be fair. So S and E for the tag is good. But
Shorty E is quite long.
Dirty.
Fucking witches.
So now we've met our hosts for this episode. We are on a lot of different podcast catchers by now, so you can take us with you on your commute as you're out and about doing your shopping. Living your life. You can take us with you. Get in touch with us on the socials as well by looking for Festpod. Have a look at the video, because some people just don't look at the video that we put a lot of everything's making. They just go onto the podcast and listen to the podcast, you see.
This is a video.
This is a video as well, Yes. We can see everything that you're doing.
I'll be back in a minute. I've got to go put some pants on.
Filth.
Just look for us on YouTube by searching for Festpod. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, do the opposite and search for us on your podcast app by searching for Festpod. And if you like the show and you are a regular listener, we are also now on Patreon. Yes, if you'd like to help us out in making the show, it does all go back into the show. You can search us out on Patreon and you'll get some nice treats. You'll get outtakes. You'll get bits and bobs from us, which is always nice. We'd love your support. We really would. So we've also, I don't know if you've noticed, there's one or two new nice bits of merch floating about. Here's my cup of coffee in a brand new Festpod mug. It's two-tone.
It's beautiful, Neil.
How
would you get one of them?
How would you get one? You go on Etsy. Type in Etsy.com.
How much would them cost? Oh, a red one too.
Oh, a red rim.
I like it.
Filth.
Nice.
Carry on.
Yeah. Do you know? Now that you ask me, I'm not sure. I think they're about £10. Yeah, they are. The £10.
Naughty.
No, they're not. They're $9.99 from Etsy.com.
Oh,
Yes.
that's important. Keep it under a tenner.
Yes, I know exactly. So yeah, get your own on, as well as a load more other stuff that is on there. Cups, hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, doormats. If you want a doormat, tote bags, and all sorts. There's two-tone baseball t-shirts. There's travel mugs. There's all sorts. Plus your standard Festpod patch, which we always like to plug. Very popular.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
For the baseball shirts,
Yes.
do you have to play baseball in them?
You can do whatever you like in them.
Is it like is it like some kind of legally binding contract where?
No. You're just copying what the baseball people wear.
Oh,
If you want to pretend you're sporty, I can't actually have one because they don't fit me. But all the rest of the items are they're for the larger gentlemen, you see. You can get larger items if you want, or smaller items if you're a smaller person. Anyway.
Okay, man.
Yes, he's a smaller person.
Short by name, short by nature.
So let's crack on with the festival news. Now we have e-tickets. Do you remember e-tickets at Download Festival last year when there was a bit of a panic, wasn't there, when it came to tickets? Because we were thinking, we're going to get our tickets on time because it was a bank holiday just before. We're thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to get my tickets. As happens every year, we always think, these tickets are never going to come. And there's always a big hoo-ha. You like a big hoo-ha, don't you?
I love a big hoo-ha, which is why I don't like Eamon. I love you, really. Yeah, last year it was more of a worry and a fear for most people, I think, or never, as you said, due to the bank holiday and the everything else that was going on in the world, and like car park passes not arriving and everything else, and there was a lot of people. It was just e-tickets. There's everywhere uses e-tickets now.
Yeah.
You try and get your hands on a paper or cardboard gig ticket these days. You can get them, obviously, but it's difficult.
It's true. I can't remember the last paper ticket that I had.
I mean, the stupid thing is I print out all my e-tickets because I'm a paranoid idiot. But
yeah, so
I
do that too.
Yeah. I mean, right, the thing is, right, I'm not a big fan of... I like e-tickets, but I'm not a big fan of Ticketmaster. Now, this is where my worlds collide, because e-tickets on any other ticketing service are quite awkward because you have to go find an email or you have to log into your account to get a barcode up or a QR code. They're quite awkward to do, whereas Ticketmaster, for all their interesting shenanigans, they actually have an app where you just press the ticket in the app and it shines on the app in the perfect brightness, perfect format, and it's really good.
Yeah.
But it's Ticketmaster. So I don't use that because I don't buy tickets from there for my own reasons.
So are you boycotting them, are you?
I don't like the word boycott. I prefer the word despise the borderline touting scumbags. But
mate, to be fair, the amount you spend on gig tickets, it's probably made a difference as well.
Yeah, it has. No, and I say that, like, I go for Ticketmaster things like Download because you have to at the ticket sales, and Ticketmaster have the surge pricing, which I get, and there's a place for it in some places, and the logic behind why they do it makes sense.
No.
But the logic does make sense.
No,
but it shouldn't do.
No, because
it shouldn't be a thing in events.
Because it pushes resale up as well.
It does, yeah.
So the touts still win. So no, it doesn't work.
The touts still win.
I will fight you all day on this.
Yeah, the touts do still win currently because it's not been made impossible by ticketing companies to not resell tickets. But the logic behind why they do it is to stop the touts because it pushes the price up due to demand. In theory, the logic states it should go down. The prices should go down.
It doesn't stop.
But the touts still win. No, it doesn't stop the touts. That's the problem.
Because they're still buying them.
And the other issue is it's pushed up ticket prices to stupid amounts. And I'm guilty. I'll panic buy, and I'll buy tickets that are too expensive sometimes because I'm just excited to go see that band. And the more people are willing to pay 100 quid for a gig ticket, the more gig tickets will be 100 quid. And it's a really difficult one to. I'm not defending it because I hate the fucking stupid thing, but if people are willing to pay it, why not charge it? But is the argument, I guess.
It's not just gigs. It's events in general. So
Yeah.
on at the time of recording, I'm going to be down in London tomorrow for the weekend, and primarily for football. But we thought, well, we might as well stay down there because I don't travel very well. So we'll do that. We'll have some food, a couple of drinks. I thought I'll have a look what's on Saturday night in London. And I'm a big fan of UFC. And
Is that wrestling?
no, it's real.
What's UFC?
The Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Okay.
It's brutal. It's and tickets are always expensive for that kind of event. They are. You're not getting a ticket for less than £300-400 up in the gods.
Fucking hell!
And,
Up in the gods.
Yeah. So I thought, well, okay, well, we're a day away. Let's have a quick look. And there was a couple still left on Ticketmaster. That weren't resale tickets that were still there and up in the gods. And they wanted, I think it was £750 per ticket.
They can bugger off with it, can't they?
And on the resale, those same tickets in the same block were going for about, I think it was £950-ish.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And that's an expensive, that's an extreme event in terms of cost.
Oh,
I get that.
But still,
that dynamic pricing structure has done that.
Oh, yeah. Because the original ticket prices were high anyway, yeah.
Because you look anywhere else in the world at UFC events, and they're not that high.
I mean, you only have to look at, every day on Twitter, without fail, Ticketmaster will be trending, and every time I see that, I'm like, which set of fans have they screwed over this time? And it's always, Beyonce's tickets are too expensive. Oh, they were £50, now they're £200. Or whichever band or artist it is that's gone on sale that day. And they're always trending for it now, and I don't know how long it is sustainable for them, because there's a reason no other ticketing company, as far as I'm aware, has followed that same pattern. It's just them, but they are the monopoly, really, for a lot of events.
There's something drastic has got to happen before they stop doing it, because the thing is, money is the primary motivation for them. It may well be experiences that they're selling, but they're making a lot of money doing it. And this particular model that they've got of surge pricing, it makes them so much money, and it doesn't help. I don't see that it's doing anybody any favors at all. So
I also don't know where does the extra money go? Because I don't know if it goes to the bands. I think the promoters, sorry, probably not the bands themselves, promoters and booking agents stuff have to agree to it. But I don't know if they get a cut from it. Do Metallica get a cut from their surge pricing profits? Probably not, I'd say. It's probably... I don't know where it would go, but it's
someone who doesn't deserve it, probably. I just think it's quite a cunty thing to do. I just think there's no need for it. I mean, I know, there's ticket touts, and you've got to do something about them. Because no one, I mean, nearly £1,000 rich to sit a mile away from this thing that you want to watch. I mean, if you're desperate, you'll pay it. But oh my God,
if you're desperate and you haven't got to worry about money at all, then yes, of course you'll pay it. But as a casual somebody who's kind of going, oh, I fancy, I would want to go, I fancy it, I'm in the area. Oh my Christ! It's just like, it's and the scary
that'll
thing.
That'll pay for download for me, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah. The scary thing is they'll be sold by the time the event starts.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely. It will. And that's the problem, because the tickets will sell. So what motivation does any ticketing agency have to put the prices down?
People will pay it.
I go back to it. I say it quite a lot on this podcast. They're a business. I get it. But there's been a business that's taken the piss out of the hard-working fans and fanatics of these bands and sports teams and events whose wages haven't gone up, but the cost of living's gone up. They haven't got that sort of money to be thrown about on a whim or a quim.
Filth!
They haven't got that sort of money to be doing it. Whereas, you'd pay £100 for a stadium rock show or something like that. £110, and you have done for a while. You'd be paying £800 for stadium rock shows for years now.
Yeah.
But when we're starting to look at £200 for a stadium show, it's getting a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, you're getting priced out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all the A-listers, whether it's in rock and metal or not, are charging hundreds of pounds already. I mean, how much? I don't know if you've seen Madonna's new tour that she's announced. She's asking for hundreds. I mean, I know it's probably going to be the last tour that she ever does. I think she said that. She's going to be the last tour she ever does. Yeah. But, I mean, is she worth hundreds of pounds to see? I mean, I know one or two people who will pay it, but I don't think she's worth that.
I don't think she is. But did you see S Club 7's prices?
Oh, no, they're not back together, are they?
Yeah,
they are. They brought it all back.
The show. They did bring it all back.
Yeah.
They're reaching for the stars again.
Oh, my God. And how much have you paid?
I haven't. Me and Steph talked about it as a kind of a, should we just do it for shits and giggles? And then it was like, I think they were about £200 a ticket. They weren't cheap. I was expecting
hell.
I was expecting to be about, for an arena, I was expecting 80, 90 quid with the nostalgia part and the fact that they've got to pay them all to get back. And there's 7 of them.
Yeah.
As well as paying the tour crew and the merch crew and everything else.
I suppose from their point of view, because they're S Club 7, how long is it since they were last together? When did they last have a hit? Are they likely to have any more hits? Probably not. So they want to pay off their mortgages. They want to pay for a few years of life.
They haven't been a 7 for about 20 years. Honestly, it's
dear.
like...
Yeah, well...
So no, I'm not going,
sadly. No, you're not going. Okay. I'm going to see Madonna instead. Now, back to download. There will be no loyalty scheme this year. Now, I don't know if you probably did. If you watched our last episode or listened to it with the lovely Trish and Hevs from the... from various things, to be honest, to do with download, but particularly from the forums and the Facebook groups. They off air were talking to us about why they think this might be, and they think it's because of logistics, because download is basically sold out for 2023, and it's is it going to be 100,000 people? Is it going to be 110, 111,000 people? Can you imagine? And over the extra day of music, and which means less time to deal with everybody, and it's just going to be a bloody nightmare. Is basically their thoughts on it. Is that reasonable? Do you think? Because I'm pretty pissed off because I was going to get 50 quid this year.
Exactly. That's the thing. That for me, it's either a day of arena drinking or a hoodie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I suppose I can just buy an extra couple of bottles of Sambuca instead, but that's the point. I shouldn't have to.
The money off them.
And I get the logistics thing. I get the argument, and I can understand that it would be a fucking nightmare for download this year to do it logistically in terms of actually getting them out in their current, or what was their current form, and the space to do that. However, there are other ways of doing a loyalty scheme.
Yeah,
there are electronic ways. There are multiple ways, and it's like it's could have been dealt with another way, where people didn't have to queue up for a ridiculous amount of time to get a QR code scanned for exchange for a book of vouchers. There could have been another way of doing it.
Bring your your birth certificates.
There could have been some kind of online wallet made. I mean, I know Download might not have the best history of using that kind of payment service, but there's ways of doing it, and there's better technology out there now where you could have had something on Google Pay or on Apple Pay.
They've got an app. They've got a download app that they could have transformed.
Put a QR code on there,
Exactly. So do we? Sorry, Eamon. Do we see this as like the end of it totally now? Then that's what we're going to look at as a threesome. We're here, right? Why would download bring?
Dirty.
Thank you. Why would download bring this back next year now?
It's a weird one, right? Because very few other festivals have a loyalty type scheme. Like some smaller festivals do it, where you'll get a few free drinks here and there. But I guess it's one of those odd things where we've had this now, the loyalty scheme for like pandemic skewed my mind, but like 4 or 5 years probably of the festival, roughly, and we've been used to it for a short period of time, and we were very lucky to have it. And now it's been taken away, and we're the same as every other festival. We're upset, obviously, because we've lost 50 quid in most people's cases. But I don't know, I think we might see it come back, but I wouldn't be surprised if it stayed away. I think they might wait until there might be something different. I don't think it'll be the 50 quid. It might be get a free drink at the bar. I think there'll be some form of it, but I don't think we'll ever see the 50 quids. But that's just me.
If they get rid of it, I think that's awful. Because we're all
There's a lot
used
of
to it, like you
people.
say.
There's a lot of people who plan their festival week knowing that they're going to have that 50 quid. And you're right, it's a perk, it's not a given.
Yeah.
They don't owe us anything. I understand their business. They don't owe us anything at all. But it's a benefit of being that kind of loyal repeat customer.
Yeah.
It's something that people, as I said, people plan into their budgets or their drinking habits or whatever else. And yeah, I think it's to still not be officially announced. I know Download had been replying to people's emails saying it's gone, which is official enough. But it's getting quite late in the day, isn't it?
They would have had to put in place the claim system by now, wouldn't it? Because what are we, mid-March?
Yeah.
But they've got the database that they've had for the last 6 or 7 years, which, it's only the new people to be added to it. It's not a massive task. Even if it's an extra 2,000 people to go onto it, it's not a massive task, really. It's a little bit of data entry, isn't it? And then if you did it all electronically through an app and through Apple or Google Pay, then there's no other day.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if it's maybe just something they forgot about, and not forgot. Like, just the festival sold out. It was a bigger announcement. They probably anticipated tickets have sold quicker, and they've probably forgot about it. And now they've realised their current format just won't work at a sold out site logistically, and then they've probably not got the time to invest in the app, etc., or the manpower at their end. But maybe we'll see it come back next year. But I think it's probably just one of those things that slipped away from them this year, I reckon.
Because it does take quite a bit of space to actually arrange, doesn't it? Because it's you've got to account for a big queue of people. All, because I mean, as soon as the arena opens, I go and get my free money. But you've got to account for that. You've got to account for the little huts or whatever, But I think where they would do that is now being taken up. There's this new extra VIP bit that you can pay extra for with extra straightening irons and extra fucking toilets, or I don't know what they've got at the top, but it's going to be up there, isn't it? It's going to be that sort of area.
Which is where the old loyalty scheme collection was. Whereas last year it was in cup collection points, wasn't it?
Yes, it was kind of on the side of the bars.
So it hadn't actually taken up any more space.
Oh, I think they had a few more, didn't they? I think they must have spread them out a bit.
I think they had 3 a cup womble collection points.
Yeah.
Speaking of cup wombles, bring back plastic cups.
Bring them back?
That's all I'm going to say on it. I mean, I don't think we'll see them come back. I think it's going to be cardboard cups forever now. But
oh, you mean the collectible?
The plastic
on?
Cups. Yeah. The plastic cups that you used to have to take back. You got your deposit on, all that kind of stuff. I don't think we'll see them
anymore.
So the pilot was cardboard cups, but that obviously doesn't count. And then last year, pretty much most festivals were cardboard cups again, and it's because environmentally, it turns out that when you get the plastic trampled into the field instead, it's a lot more of an issue than the cardboard. It's part of the main issues, and I think farmers have had a lot of say in it as well, because little bits of plastic are a lot harder to get than a big cardboard cup. But
yeah, fair enough.
I think is the reason. I could be talking complete bullshit. It could have been a supply thing, but that's the thing that was doing the rounds.
I mean, my collection of plastic beakers is practically complete anyway, so I wouldn't really want to collect anymore. To be honest, I've got enough.
I've got about 40.
I just hate having a pint in a cardboard cup.
Yeah. It doesn't stay cold for us longer. The cup starts getting flimsy after about 5 minutes, and it forces me to drink more. And I don't like that. I don't like drinking.
I know it's tough for you. I'm gonna have to go back to bottles of wine this year, I think.
Yeah, bottles of wine all the way.
Bottles of wine at 25 quid a time, and I get back on them.
I might have to join you.
Drinking. Why don't you get on the whiskey or other sort of?
I'm not a multi-millionaire, Neil. Get on the whiskey.
You don't have to drink as much of it to get pissed.
That's why I drink 4 bottles of wine a day.
Yeah, £100 a day on wine. What's that about?
That's why I got divorced with it.
I think so. I think it's a contributor.
Now, we're still on download. They have released some new merch. Now, I don't actually think that this is particularly nice. I think it's a bit shit, to be honest. But it's basically a T-shirt and a hoodie. They call it Black Acid Wash. And it's got a very small logo on it, on the titty. And I just think it's a bit boring. I think it's a bit shit. I think they could have done more with it. If this is the hoodie, I think I'll pass. Yeah. £55.
I mean, it doesn't even say if that logo's stitched in or not. It looks like it might be, but
I mean, it's obviously just photoshopped on, isn't it, for the picture? But
yeah.
I quite like the acid wash colours, but I'm not a massive fan of the logo on it.
It's just a bit boring, isn't it? Yeah. Put the download dog on the back or something.
Yeah.
Well, make it just that little tiny logo is a bit dull.
I would buy it if it had the download dog on it. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. They will have other merch. They will have, because they always do. They always have, you don't like this one? Well, we've got this one. They've always got a nice wide selection of stuff, which I buy and it just sits there. But what they've released today, I think is lackluster, which is it's a shame because I love download merch. I love it, most of it. I usually get a few T-shirts every year and at least one hoodie. Because and they're all fucking just sat there and I never fucking wear them, but I just love them. I just like to have them and own them. But the ones that they've just released here, I just think they're a bit crap. Which is a shame because they're asking for £55 for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a £55 hoodie, is it?
No. I mean, our hoodies are about, I think the most expensive one is 35 quid, and that's because it's two-tone.
Well, that's a bargain, that is.
It bloody is.
Where'd you get one of them from, Neil?
If you go on Etsy.com and search for Festpod, they are really nice hoodies, though. They're not crap brands. They're really nice. Anyway. Download access camping and all of the weekend and Saturday tickets sold out. Now, there are some camping tickets that have come back on sale, and they are likely to be from failed instalment plans where people have missed a payment or whatever, and the tickets go back on sale. But you're lucky if you get one because everything else has pretty much sold out. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever been to a sold out download before. I'm a little bit scared.
It's all RIP options as well, like all the hotels, all the new shit in Johnny Vegas's campsite. Like it's all The fucking
Yeah, we
stupid
discovered
boats.
we haven't covered that since, by the way.
No, we haven't, have we?
Those weird things, those like the snail or whatever, and the fire truck and the schoolie, all those weird options. They're in Johnny Vegas's campsite. I think are they owned by him?
Yeah, so he's opened up a glamping site at Melbourne Hall, which I don't know if it's opened officially yet, but Download's probably the first big event he's doing. And they're all permanent options. Like, he's restoring all these old shitty vehicles and putting a bed in a teapot in them and selling them for a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. I mean, it's sick how much money he's asking for. Oh my God. But people are paying it. They've sold out.
Yeah,
you know,
they've all gone. I did not think Melbourne Hall would sell out because you only get access from the Thursday. It's a 20-minute transfer away, each there and back each day and night, and it's mad.
Yeah, but if people couldn't get their hands on their standard camping tickets or their quiet camp tickets or anything else, and then those extra RIP options are added, and they really want to go,
they'll go.
Excuse me. Then they're going to go. They're going to pay for it.
Yeah,
and. You can say it's supply and demand, because if people are willing to pay it, then there's nothing wrong with the pricing. But if they've got no choice, then you're kind of backed into a corner. And if they've got no choice because you've actually reduced the amount of general camping, then
has it reduced?
Well, it's hard to tell because they've moved it all.
It feels like it. It feels like it.
Download are also very good at flexing capacity, so they will put more campsites on if there's more people. But because last year was the first time with the campsites all surrounding the village on the concrete lake, we don't know what fields they've got over there. So it was very much reduced last year. There was a field that was originally on the map that they never used, so there's at least one extra field. Where there's any more for general, I'm not sure. Do they go back across as far as the old ones again, in the old fields, and get people to walk to the village? I don't know, but they've got to find extra capacity somewhere, in theory, or that's their capacity and that's why they've sold out. But I think even then you're looking, with day tickets, easily 100k a day, if day tickets all sell out as well. Which is going to be lovely.
Will you hold my hand?
I'll hold something.
I was talking to Neil, but okay.
Oh, okay.
Dirty.
I'll hold his too.
It's not just when we go to urinals, isn't it? Yeah, shake off the drips and everything.
Yeah, well, work on your aim, boys.
So, I mean, obviously, it is 4 days of music, and it's Metallica. Do you think that's what's made the difference this year?
Metallica's definitely got a big influence in it, but it's not just that. You know, the Metallica days would have sold out, like guaranteed. They would have sold out.
Who?
But exactly, because Metallica days always do, right? And the last time camping sold out at Download was 2012 when Metallica headlined. And it was kind of a Metallica effect then. But I think the lineup being so fresh and the bands you've got under there, your Parkway Drives, your Architects, they're big bands at the minute. And even Bring Me the Horizon dragging in a lot. And Slipknot, of course, do their thing. So I think it's a mixture of the fresh lineup and the Metallica effect is just completely pushed over the edge. Yeah, for me.
Because there's a lot of new bands that I've never seen before, never heard of before. And that's a big draw for me. I've got to be honest. You know, I mean, it's like, I've said this before. I'm not too bothered about the the older, bigger headliners. I'm not that bothered. I'm interested in finding out these new bands that I've never heard before. Like I said, I usually spend my time in the smallest tent in the arena, the fourth stage. And enjoy myself in there looking at all these new bands that I've never seen before. And I've seen some amazing stuff. So for me, that's always been my thing at Download. But I know that, there's people who love the older stuff. And that inevitably, if they're selling out stadiums, they're going to sell out Download, aren't they?
And that is the beauty of Download, though, isn't it? Is that there is something for everybody. There's not you can say, "Oh, I'm not keen on the lineup," but if you actually go and explore and stick your head into a tent, you might find your next favourite band.
Yeah, it's true.
There's so many great smaller bands on, Fourth especially.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just it is what it is, and I'm terrified of of how busy this is going to be, and I hope and I pray to Satan that logistically they get it right, and that the bars work, the toilets work, everything works, and the water works. That's everything, and that's. I mean, it's not so bad for us being an RIP. That's one thing that is a massive benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. You're right, though. It's a lot of people to look after at once.
It's a lot of people. And they're not used to doing it regularly. They have their big days. So Maiden was the biggest day last year, where it probably topped 80,000 maybe. Guns N' Roses prior to that probably got close to the 90 or 100, but...
Oh, I didn't like it. Too busy.
They've not had a proper sold-out download ever, really, at this level, this soon. Download 2012, like I say, sold out, but it was late on. It wasn't this soon, wasn't this many RIP options that sold out. It was mainly the Metallica day that sold out and the weekend tickets. So it's going to be a busy one.
Is this going to be their biggest ever?
I'd be surprised if it's not. I mean, they could have sold out. They could have only sold 20,000 tickets, and they've sold out because that's all the capacity they've got. We don't know what their capacity actually is, because we know the arena capacity is about 100 to 110,000. It can be, but we don't fully know the campsite capacity. But it's certainly going to be their busiest one.
Do you know, I always forget that, because you've got people who stay, people who don't stay, people who are in the hotels, people who come for fucking miles around who are not staying on site at all. You've got to accommodate everybody at the same time. I always forget that figure. It's not because not everybody stays on site. I need to get that through my head.
Yeah, they're two very different numbers usually. So it'll be a very interesting year, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be one to remember, definitely. And hopefully, Rich, we'll have a nice time, because we're in RIP. We haven't got as much of a walk.
We'll bash the Sambuca every morning. Bash the Jaeger, and then we'll float off into our happy place. And it won't matter how many people are there, because we'll be warm and fuzzy from the Buka.
I didn't know it had got a nickname, the Buka.
The Buka.
We are going to be recording again at Download. So we've had a lot of people asking, to be honest, a lot of people interested since we mentioned about this tour.
I mean, a lot of my best works when I'm pissed, so.
It is a laugh at Download to record. It's great. So if you happen to be walking past and you see us recording stuff, feel free to interrupt us.
Or buy us a beer. Buy us a beer.
Oh, buy us a beer.
Buy us two.
Yes.
In a cardboard cup.
And one for after. Yes, do that.
You don't really have to buy us a beer. You really don't.
You don't. Well, I mean,
but if you want to, then I'm not going to turn it down if you want to. I'm just saying you don't have. Don't feel obliged. But if it'd be very well received if you did.
I will not speak to anyone unless they buy me a drink. Just make that purely clear. I'm a nice guy, but not when I'm sober.
Yes, there's a caveat.
The thing is, it's right as well. It's so true.
Moving on from Download Festival, Glastonbury Festival, which I know is not massively of interest to Festpod listeners, because it's not a metal festival, is it? It's not a rock festival, particularly when you've got. To be honest, Glastonbury, it's more of a sort of. I mean, what would you say? A pop? Is it a pop festival? I don't know.
They call it it's the Contemporary Performing Arts Festival, isn't it? It's everything. Like, I mean, you've had Metallica headline Glastonbury, Guns N' Roses are headlining this year. And you do have like Napalm. You have a full metal and hardcore stage. Like Napalm Death are regulars at Glastonbury. You know, everything is represented at Glastonbury, just not in this big colourful font.
I mean there's so much on there that I would love to see.
That's true. Yeah, me too.
So much on that poster, and I think there is something for everybody. It's just too big.
Yeah.
if we're worried about 100,000 people at download, how the bloody hell would we cope there?
Yeah.
I think I would struggle, definitely. I mean...
With lots of alcohol.
Yeah, do you know what, though? It's not even just the number of people, but the sheer distance between everything. It's a massive... It's like a town. You know, and if you... Could you make it into a metal festival if you just wanted to go and see the metal acts? Is that feasible?
I think with Glastonbury, people make it what they want. Because even if you want to see main stage acts or pyramid stage acts at Glastonbury, you can't really. Well, you can, but you're stood miles away. There's hundreds of thousands of people there. The stage is fucking tiny. The screens they have are tiny. Yeah. Everywhere else that you can see is just flags. You don't see bands at Glastonbury. You really on your main stages anyway, because you just can't see them. It's the experience, it's the atmosphere. Yeah. It's a completely different like event. But when you get into those smaller stages, it's got that same vibe as every other festival. So it's one I'm never too bad about going to most years, but I want to as well.
That's one of the things that always put me off is those fucking flags. I know a lot of people who go religiously, and it's a case of you camp closest to the stage that you want to be nearest the most all weekend, and you stay on that stage all weekend because that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But then there are others who say it's the greatest thing in the world, and they never watched a single band all weekend, and they've done the rest of the Glastonbury experience with the performing arts. No, I'm not talking about illegal substances. I'm talking about the other entertainment stuff they've got on. You know, and it is. I suppose it is that kind of festival where there is really genuinely something for everybody. And looking at that list again there, that's great, but you wouldn't be able to see. 25%.
I always forget, I mean, you watch it on TV and you're right, it's just flags everywhere. And you wonder what the point is. You might as well just stay at home and watch it. And
Well, I remember when Download allowed flags, and the best thing they ever did was ban them. Like, the first few years of Download I went to, there was flags scattered across the arena, and it was... I mean, at least at Download, you've got a normal-sized stage and decent screens compared to Glastonbury, but it was horrible having flags in the arena, and the fact most festivals ban them now, apart from Glastonbury, is brilliant because they're shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at... because the reason we're talking about Glastonbury is because they released their poster, their lineup poster. You've got Arctic Monkeys, Guns N' Roses, Elton John, and Lizzo right at the top there. Going down, you do have... Oh, we mentioned Cat Burns a couple of episodes ago, and I found that hilarious, that name, because it just makes me think of a cat with burns, but a burning cat or something. But apparently it is a lady's name, I found out, as in Catherine Burns, but she's called Cat Burns, which on first hearing I didn't appreciate. Who else have we got there? Chivriches are on there. Fred again, who was at the Brits. Lewis Capaldi. I know you're a fan, Rich.
Capaldi. Sort of, that's Glasgow tickets, yeah? Side stage.
Yeah.
Me and the Festpod crew plus the missus. Capaldi, get on it, yeah?
We know you're a big fan of a show.
Big fan of the show.
Manic Street Preachers. Nova Twins, actually. Royal Blood are there. Sparks. Now, am I the only one who remembers Sparks from the 80s?
I know who Sparks are.
There was one bloke with a tash, very well dressed, slick back hair, and then a normal bloke stood next to him playing the. I don't know who was playing the keyboards. I can't remember now. There was one of them on the keyboards, and the other one was singing or something. It was a very weird act, and it was a very long time ago. But clearly, they're still going. and they're going to be on at Glastonbury. Thundercats will be on. I don't know if Mum Ra's going to be there. That's a joke for the 80s kids there. Texas. And I don't know, the rest of them I don't know.
The war on drugs, that's not... I don't know how that's going to go down at Glasgow.
I know, yeah.
It'll be an empty one, that, won't it? But you're right, they have all sorts of other bits and bobs going on. And it never even occurred to me that you'd go there and not watch any bands.
Yeah.
But
People
clearly
do.
you can. I mean, to be honest, I doubt I'll go ever because you can't get tickets for it, can you? You've got to piss about in a queue for, whatever. I just can't be bothered with it. I'd just rather go to
Yeah, it's too much effort.
17 years I've been waiting in the queue for tickets. 17 years.
God.
One day.
Now, we've got a 2,000 Trees story here, haven't we, Eamon?
We do, yes. So 2000 Trees have announced a couple more bands for lineup, mainly Bullet of My Valentine being the Friday night headliner, which it's got sort of ringings of the Download pilot. This Frank Carter and Rattlesnakes headlining, Bullet of My Valentine headlining, Skin Dreader in there, Hologram in there. It's got echoes of the pilot in terms of the lineup. But you know what? I'm not here to talk about the actual lineup. We can talk about that if we want to, but I've got a real bone to pick this year because most festival lineup posters, whoever's designing them, are shite. Now, this one in particular, if you look at that poster, who's headlining the Friday night or the Saturday night? You'd say Frank Carter.
You'd say Frank, wouldn't you? Quite obviously, because you go.
Oh,
in Western culture, we go left to right.
Yeah. Why is Bullet of My Valentine over looking like they're the Saturday headline or Sunday headline? I can't remember what days 2000 Trees are, but it's.
You got
and when you look at the rest of the poster,
Friday on the right.
Yeah. And you look at the rest of the poster, right? The top 3 lines are kind of okay, 4 lines. But the further you go down, especially when you get to the text at the bottom, you just can't read shit. Like, it just hurts my eyes because it's just a block of white stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just... This year, posters, even Glastonbury's isn't great, but the posters are just doing my head in this year. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm just getting old and irritated, but just tell me where bands are playing, what day.
Yeah.
Put them in a decent order. Fuck this alphabetical shit. Like, I'm not going to go hunting for the alphabet. Yeah. What makes all these bands above the alphabet? When it starts going into the alphabet at the 900, right? What makes all these bands above so special, apart from the headliners? Like, there's no... You can't tell what anything is. You can't... It irritates me.
Yeah, you want to know days. You want to know stages. And it's just a big mess.
If you've got that many bands announced... If you've got that many bands announced, split it up. Same with Download. That's doing my head in. There's just...
Yeah.
But the whole Friday and Saturday headline has been the opposite way around. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Because that's not even alphabetical. There's not...
Yeah.
What's the logic?
Oi, Trees.
Yeah.
We know you're big fans of the show. So, your PR guys, get them on the show. Get them on Festpod. Let's talk logistics of your festival.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to know the reason.
Yeah.
Get on Festpod with us.
Aside from that, I want to go to 2000 Trees.
Yeah,
but
Absolutely.
the poster design pissing me off.
It's a great lineup, and I'd love to be there. And I'd probably, hopefully, get down there for a day at least. But the
It
poster
does look amazing. I mean, despite having to... it's like one of those magic eye pictures. Remember those?
Yeah.
Where you try and focus your eye on on something and eventually see, a dolphin. But right, once you manage to focus your eyes, and there's some amazing acts on at Trees this year. I mean, my eye has just gone straight to Holding Absence there. You've got Empire State Bastard.
bastard.
Thank you.
You've got
Speaking of them,
Sorry if that was a little bit hot.
it's fine.
It was quite poppy in my ears.
That's all right.
speaking of Empire State Bastard, just to sidetrack
Bastard.
slightly,
Yes.
they've just teased their album or single, or their single, sorry, on Facebook with like a short 10-12 second single that will come out on March 24th called I don't know what it's called. It's called Harvest. I'm fucking good at this new shit.
You are,
But
aren't you?
if you listen to it, you've never heard like Simon Neil like this. It's full grindcore, full just. Oh, it's beautiful, and Dave Lombardo on the drums as well for it. It's. I can't wait to see him at Download, to be honest.
Do you know, I haven't made the effort to listen yet, actually, and I should do because we've mentioned it enough. But yeah, I'm interested to know what this actually sounds like. I hope it's different enough to make a difference.
Yes. Well, if you mean different to Biffy, then you probably can't get much more different unless you turned into, I don't know, a jazz artist. But it's proper, like, it sounds like it's gonna be proper nice grindcore, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, well, I listen to that because in my personal music taste, Biffy Clyro is not my thing. I would never look for Biffy to play their music. So I would happily search this out just for the sake of curiosity. And if I like it, then great, I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Now, there's a huge story next. The Heavy Music Awards finalists have been announced. Yeah. Now, you can actually vote for who you want in these categories. So let's take a look at the categories now. There are quite a few. We won't go deeply into it all, but it's... now, have you voted already? You voted, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I was one of the same as Lee. I was one of the 1,000 industry experts on the panel. So as soon as those came out, me and Lee both did our voting. So we should take a couple of categories each. I'm quite happy to go first if you want.
Sure. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. So best album, the big one, Architects. The classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit, Bad Omens, The Death of Peace of Mind, Ghost, Impera, Hailstorm, Back from the Dead, Nova Twins, Supernova, Slipknot, The End So Far, and Vukovi, Nula. Some good albums there, and there's some albums that I don't particularly like on there as well, but we're not getting to that now. Best breakthrough albums, the nominees that you can vote on are Bloody Wood, Rakshak, Cassiette, Sad Girl Mixtape, Charlotte Sands, Lover of the Lies, Harriet, Profound Morality, Static Dress, Rouge Carpet Disaster, Wargasm, Explicit, The Mixtape, and Witch Fever, Congregation.
Up for best UK artist, Bob Vylan, Creeper, Holding Absence, Malevolence, Nova Twins, Sleep Token, and Vukovi. I know who in fact, I voted for Sleep Token. I know that you've obviously got your own opinions, but that's who I voted for. Most International Artist, Bad Omens, Electric Callboy, Ghost, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Polyphia, and Spirit Box. It's a good category.
Polyphia are awesome. They really are awesome. If you haven't listened to them, really recommend giving them a listen.
Yeah, but Electric Callboy.
I did for Electric Callboy, but
I think I probably did. Yeah, could just put on your say so. To be honest,
absolutely, everyone should vote for them. But up for best UK live artist, another big one. You've got Neil's favourite Biffy Clyro, Creeper, Ed Shikari. We'll talk about them later. Neck Deep, Nova Twins, Skin Dread, and Vukovi. And then best international live artist. They've separated these out. You've got Alexis on Fire, Electric Callboy, Ghost, Hailstorm, My Chemical Romance, Parkway Drive, and the mighty Turnstile.
And then moving on to Best Breakthrough Live Artist, Avenged Sevenfold, Cassiette, Harriet, Joey Valance and Bray, Lake Malice, Static Dress, and Witch Fever. And the Best UK Breakthrough Artist, we've got Avenged Sevenfold, Black Gold, Cody Frost, Delilah Bond, Kid Bucky, Late Malice, and Zand.
And Best International Breakthrough Artist, Charlotte Sands, Chat Pile, LS Dunes, Scene Queen, Scowl, Soul Blind, and Zulu. And Best Festival. This is where we live, really. 2000 Trees, Aftershock, Bring Me the Horizon, Malta Weekender, Don't know what that is. Download, Hellfest, Outbreak, and Slam Dunk. Some festivals there that we haven't covered.
There is, yeah. So the Bring Me the Horizon Malta Weekender was Bring Me the Horizon's own festival they put on in Malta, believe it or not, where they played like a bunch
of the weekend.
Yeah, it was for a weekend. Yeah, it was a Malta Weekender, but they played a few different sets. Like they played a proper old school set, which looked fucking phenomenal. But I had really rave reviews about it as well.
Why did we not hear about it?
I mean, I did, but this was last year now, so it wasn't. It was advertising amongst the Bring Me the Horizon community a lot, and it sold out, I think, as well. And a lot travelled for it. I only really heard about it as it was. Yeah, as it was happening is when I heard about it because I had friends out there.
Right,
but
yeah, but then I haven't heard of Outbreak Festival either.
So I believe that's in the I'm going to get this completely wrong now.
Google faster.
It's the hardcore festival in Manchester. Yeah, it is. It's in the same place that Damnation's held. I couldn't tell you anything more about it, but I know they have a section where, so the front of a stage, you have no crowd barrier. It's a proper hardcore show. You can get up, stage dive, all that kind of stuff. The band signed waivers. I think fans sign waivers for it as well. Like the whole front section. It's nuts. I've seen videos from it, and it just looks ridiculous.
Let's go.
So I mean, the only ones who I would, I mean, it's hard because I've only been to one of these festivals, and I'm going to go to Slam Dunk this year. Having only been to one of these festivals, I did vote for Download, but I also want to go to Trees at some point. I am going to Slam Dunk this year. You know, it's whatever you like, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's continue then, shall we? We've got Best Single, which is another huge category, and I couldn't choose between any of these myself. We had Architects, When We Were Young, Bring Me the Horizon, Strangers, with all the weird capital letters in it.
Yeah.
Creeper, Ghost Brigade, Ed Shikari, The Void Stares Back, featuring Wargasm. Ghost, Call Me Little Sunshine, Ithaca, They Fear Us, Neck Deep, and STFU. Shut the fuck up. For those that don't know.
You shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up. Look, I'm trying to do my job here, all right? I'm trying to be good music journalism skills.
Yeah.
And we're going to go on to Best Production. And
best prolapse.
Best prolapse. We've got V Architects with V Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. Then we've got V Bad Omens with The Death of Peace of Mind. Then we've got V Hailstorm with Back from the Dead. Then we've got V Ithaca with They Fear Us. Then we've got V Rolo Tomasi with Where Myth Becomes Memory. We've got V Static Dress with Rogue Carpet Disaster. And we've got V Vukovi, that was hard, with Nula. Nula?
You're such a
New
cunt.
look.
You really are such a cunt.
I'm V cunt, thanks.
Thank you.
Rouge Carpet Disaster, is it not?
Yeah.
Rouge. Yeah, Rouge. Yeah.
Rouge as in the
Rouge.
colour. Is Rouge a sort of red?
Yes.
I presume so, yeah.
It's what would be the colour of blood, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I must apologise to V Static Dress with one of them being local.
Especially as I pronounced it correctly in an earlier category as well. You obviously weren't listening, because you can't be that good of a music journalist, can you, Eamon Patrick Short?
Well, I think what you're misunderstanding here is the fact that I pretend to listen.
Yeah.
You're misinterpreting that from me actually listening.
You only listen to your bits. But
Yes.
what do they mean by best production? What is that in terms of music?
Album production. Yeah.
Album
it's
production,
of the album.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then the last two categories, we've got Best Video. We've got Sad Summer Girl by Cassiette, The Liars Club, Coheed and Cambria, Hurricane by Electric Callboy, Werewolf by Motionless and White, Choose Your Fighter by Nova Twins, Glitch by Parkway Drive, and Playing God by Polyphia. And in the Best Album Artwork category, which I've got to be honest, none of my entries made it into this final list for album artwork.
Who did you vote for out of interest?
For album artwork?
Yeah.
Parkway Drive.
I thought you said they didn't make it.
No,
I can see
sorry.
Parkway Drive,
In terms of this list, I mean, you had to put in like 5 nominees per category. And I love like kind of extreme metal artwork, so it was all proper, disgusting, beautiful, satanic kind of imagery and things like that. So that's the stuff I went for. I'm sure I can share it with you later.
It?
No. The ones that did make it for best album artwork were Coheed and Cambria, Vaxis Act 2, A Window of the Waking Mind, Malevolence, Malicious Intent, Parkway Drive, Darker Still, Polyphia, Remember That You Will Die, Vukovi, Nula, Witch Fever, Congregation, and Zilnada.
So lots to vote for, lots to express your opinion about. And what do we know when the voting actually closes on that?
Yeah, so votes are open until the 14th of April. So you need to get your votes in by the 14th of April to have your voice heard in the Heavy Music Awards 2023.
Yes, so obviously we'll be covering that in greater detail when the time comes. So looking forward to that. We always like talking about awards on Festpod. Because everyone's got opinions about who ought to be given an award. You know,
the sad thing for me was there's no best podcast category this year because obviously Festpod would have won it hands down, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, why? There was one last year, wasn't there? And I'm sure I voted, or did I vote, or did I see something? I don't even know. I can't remember.
Sure
but there's not one this year.
I mean, they had to take it out because we would have won by default, and people would have complained. So it's for the best, really.
I suppose when you word it like that, then yeah, you're right. Yeah. It wouldn't have been fair to everybody else, would it?
I'm just trying to think. Did we not look at something where we had to choose?
I think we were looking at last year's categories.
Last year's.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fine. That explains it then. Okay. Avenged Sevenfold drop new single, Nobody, and announce new album.
What a wonderful new single this was. I really enjoyed this, and I've had it on repeat several times for the last couple of days. They're not. Somebody once said to me that Avenged Sevenfold are nobody's favourite band. Now, I can understand why people feel like that, but they're a bloody good act. They're good on record, they're good live. They have such a unique sound. You hear a track and you are straight away it's Avenged. And this new single, this lead single off the new album that's dropped, for me is kind of going back a few years for Avenged. And let's not forget, it's been 7 years since the last studio album.
Yeah.
When the stage was out. I know they've had an EP out in between, but the last full-length studio album was 7 years ago. And I know that obviously Shadows has had problems with his voice and stuff, but he sounds great on this record. Some of the guitar work from Sin was absolutely phenomenal, and if this is a sign of what's to come on the album, then I'm a very happy boy, and much looking forward to seeing them on tour soon, hopefully.
Yeah,
they're looking good, aren't they? Look at their bodies.
They've trimmed down.
I mean, I would.
I have.
For those listening, they have on their website. Well, I don't know if this is on the website. This is on Kerrang.com on the story that we're talking about. Is this album artwork?
Possibly, probably
I don't
not.
know.
I think it might just be some kind of press shot, but
There's this picture of basically 5 ladies in their underwear holding up what looks like painted portraits of Avenged Sevenfold, like their faces above there. So it looks like Avenged Sevenfold have ladies' bodies in underwear, which, I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at.
I'm aroused. I really am. There's no other. Nothing else to say about it. It's.
Yeah.
Let me just say, I can't stand up right now, so don't ask me to.
No, it won't do. Right, so you're pleased about that. Are you bothered, Eamon?
I mean, I'm kind of... The song's a good song. It's a good song. It's not got me excited yet. It's a grower, not a shower for me, but I am interested in what's to come because it's quite a... I think it's quite a brave one for them to release as the lead single so far in advance because it's not your traditional like hard hitting Avenged Sevenfold song. It does hit pretty hard, but it's quite a slow grower. So it's had a lot of mixed reviews. I'm in the middle ground of it. I don't dislike it. I've not got it on repeat like Rich, but I might do in a few months. I think it's happened with all Avenged songs for me.
I suppose with you being so used to being a grower rather than a shower, then I suppose that kind of does fit in for you, I suppose, doesn't it?
It never fits in.
It's... No, I'm
told.
Thank you. I understand what you mean about it not being that hard-hitting lead single, and I do agree with that statement that it doesn't feel like a lead single.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm very interested in what the album's going to be, because it would be that'd be quite an Avenged thing to do. Would be to release something that's like that, and then the rest of the album's just in your face. But yeah, no, I'm waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, and the music video is impressive. It's full stop motion. It's a really good music video. They've put a lot of effort into it. Yeah, and it's rare you get good music videos nowadays. So it's nice to see a band like Avenged still doing them.
I mean, most Avenged videos are pretty good, to be fair, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're up there with those bands who still produce quality music videos. And you can always kind of count on them. They're kind of like Rammstein, I suppose. They're kind of my two favourite video producers still, I suppose.
Yeah.
Linkin Park won't do a Chester Bennington hologram tour. And I think that's the right decision. I think it would be quite tasteless, to be honest. This is a story from Metal Injection. Yeah,
so I think Mike Shinoda was on a radio station, Buzz FM or something in America, doing an interview, and obviously the subject of Chester came up. So there's been talk about all over the universe what Linkin Park do next, and one thing that bounds around is a hologram tour or a video tour or whatever. And so Mike's basically completely ruled it out because he finds them creepy as fuck, which I kind of agree with. And he refers to the ABBA thing that's selling tickets for like hundreds of quid in London, which is just a hologram of them on stage, and those guys are still alive. So
and they didn't
he thinks
commit
that's creepy as hell.
suicide.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the idea of a hologram in a sense of I think it'll be visually fun to watch and impressive to watch. I'd like to see a hologram show, not necessarily of Chester, but like the ABBA thing intrigues me.
Yeah, me too.
Just from like a technical standpoint, seeing how it looks, seeing how real it feels. But I don't ever want Chester to be any more than a video tribute if he's going to be brought onto a stage in that sense. Like, I don't think it needs it, and a hologram would just taint the memory. Like, it just wouldn't work.
Doing that with him would it smacks of like just trying to monetize his ill health somehow. I mean, I don't know if I put that very well, but it doesn't sit right with me because he was obviously under some mental strain.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I'm glad he said no, basically. But yeah, for ABBA, who were still alive and agreed to it, then yeah, absolutely. Wasn't the one for Michael Jackson, or did I make that up?
I think there was one for Michael Jackson. There's definitely one for Ronnie James Dio.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's still doing the rounds, but it did a couple of like world tours. Like, it was mental. I say world tours, a few shows around the world, but yeah, that was very kind of, and because obviously Ronnie James Dio is also dead, So
Yes.
and I think Mike Shinoda puts it this way: like, if you're gonna have a hologram, that person should probably have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Whereas dead people can't. Which makes it a little bit awkward to have an opinion when you're dead, I think.
There was one of Whitney Houston, I seem to recall.
Yeah, there was one there, yeah.
Um,
It's just a bit weird to do it that way, I think.
It is, yeah. I mean, if it was just a video, that's different, isn't it? Because the hologram thing, it's like reanimating the dead. Because you're trying to make it seem like they have reappeared live on the stage in front of you. That's the effect they're trying to create.
Yeah.
And I think it's creepy. Like he says, it's creepy.
It is creepy. It is creepy.
The last story in our festival news today: Maid of Stone Festival have announced a full lineup. Now then, this is it's in Maid Stone, and it is a festival called Maid of Stone.
This is on the former site of Ramblin' Man. So Ramblin' Man used to be a kind of classic rock, leaning towards your monster rock kind of vibe that Donington used to have. Ramblin' Man is sadly no more, but Maid of Stone Festival appears to have appeared on the same site somehow mysteriously with the same kind of vibe to kind of fulfill that gap. And they've just announced their full lineup, which is it's my area. You know, we know you like my rock and roll nonsense.
Leather and denim.
Leather and denim, I think I referred to it. Yes.
Yes.
More leather and denim, the better.
Oh.
So yeah, you've got Glenn Hughes on the Saturday performing a classic Deep Purple set, which will be pretty cool. You've got Airborne headlining the Sunday, who obviously are modern day classic rock, because this whole weird thing now, right? When you've got classic rock, you've got classic bands like your Metallicas, your AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, and even like bands like Slipknot are now falling into classic band territory.
Yes.
But then you've got new bands that make classic rock music, like your Those Damn Crows and Airborne kind of fall into that category as well. We're in a weird stage where classic rock bands are young and not old.
Skindred are going to be there.
Skindred are going to be there. They always go on a hoot with anyone. Skindred just say yes to anything.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, some really good bands on there. Florence Black are on there, a great underrated band. The Hunter are on there. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons doing a Motorhead set, which will be good as well.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would like to see that.
I've seen Phil Campbell do a Motorhead set, and yeah, it's really good.
I would watch
really
that.
good. He tours it a lot. I think I saw it at Bloodstock, actually.
Is this a festival you'd go to? It does sound like it.
I've wanted to go to. I wanted to go to Ramblin' Man quite a few times, and I want to go to this, but it's the same principle as like Arctangent, 2000 Trees. Like they're just miles away. Maidstone's what? Basically in France. Like
yeah, it's a fucking long way away.
Yeah, it's too far away for me. I live in the Midlands. I can get to every festival that I go to within 40 minutes. Download's 40 minutes away. Bloodstock's half hour away. Why Not Festival's half hour away. Slam Dunk now is an hour and a bit away. Like, I don't have to travel that far for things. I'm very lucky.
It may as well be in Australia, to be honest. It's a very long way away.
I don't mind travelling to the festival.
Yeah.
But on that Monday morning when I'm hungover and want to be in my bed, I don't want a 3-hour drive. And I know people come from Scotland for Download.
Yeah.
But they're better than me. They're better humans. Like, I'm not that person. I'd probably have to have 4 hotel stops along the way. I'd be dead.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's a proper road trip, isn't it? So it's travelling around the globe. Axe throwing, children's archery, street food village, Maid of Stone market, whiskey and bourbon tent, Harley Davidson show. Yeah, this is a proper leather and denim outfit.
It is.
Gin, Prosecco and cocktail shack, beer cask ale and cider tent, and Rocky Okie is also going on. Have we sold you on this one, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, like all the sort of say, previous Rambling Man lineups. All the Rambling Man lineups were always awesome, and I always wanted to go. And this looks like something I'd happily go to as well. I like my dad rock, you know. I do.
There's no Guns N' Roses-esque stuff, though, is there?
I mean, you've got Glenn Hughes doing your Deep Purple set. That's
that's true.
Up there. It's a proper. Everyone's going to have a battle jacket. Everyone's going to be wearing double denim.
Yes,
it's going to be beautiful. Even if it's like 42 degrees, you're going to have lots of denim. What a sight!
But no, I'm kind of with Eamon on this one. If it wasn't so far away,
yeah,
I'd have probably made the effort for Rambling Man. But with this being a hell of a journey to where it is, it does put me off quite a lot.
Yeah. That's the only thing, isn't it? I mean, there was a gig, there's a Royal Blood gig being announced on Brighton Beach for July. Wow. And I will pretty much go to every Royal Blood gig. But Brighton it's a long fucking way. It's a really long way. And I would love to go because it's Brighton and it's literally on the beach.
Sound will be terrible though. Sound will be awful on the beach.
Apparently there's a thing, they do this all the time on that beach. They have gigs
and
there.
The sound's quite often terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's very windy as well, isn't it? But I mean, the fact is I'm in London on the particular day in question. So that doesn't really explain why I can't be in Brighton. No. But yeah, it's not what I'm going to. And I won't be going to this either, but good luck if you are. Because it's a long way. So, let's have a gig review. Eamon has been on his travels, dancing about with his hands in the air at a gig. Where did you go to, Eamon?
Well, actually, I've been to a couple. For the very same band since we last spoke. Actually, I've been to see End Shikari. Yeah, End Shikari twice on their album release shows and their residencies they were doing that we talked about previously. And both nights, they were incredible.
Really?
One was last night actually.
You're a big fan, aren't you?
So End Shikari, and I've said this so many times, they epitomise live music alongside Frank Turner. But other than that, yeah, there's just something special about them. And I think for me, I've seen End Shikari since before their first album release, their first EP release. I've been going to see them since 2005, I think. I'm probably in excess of 30, 40 gigs I've seen them alone, let alone festival appearances. So... yeah, it's worthy of it. And you know, they're always brilliant. Like, thank you very much, beautiful backing track. I will accept this, but they're always
accept it.
They're always great. But this particular time, it's been especially great because new album release shows. They're doing very special set lists, but also it's kind of a venue review because KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton came onto the venue scene. Very recently, last couple of years. And it's now a big stopping point for bands. And it's an old steel mill, hence the name. It's literally bare bones. You go in, there's a few bars popped up. It's kind of Victoria Warehouse style in that sense, but they've got their own proper ale, their own brewed ale, their own brewed pale as well. Good bar choice. But also, it's the best sound I've ever experienced in the venue.
Really? That's quite a claim.
Yeah, the best atmosphere. Like it's taken Rock City's claim as my favourite venue that I've been to. Full stop.
Wow.
It's just another level of venue. I'm gonna try and get to Devin Townsend there in a few weeks if I can. I've got another
What's the capacity
gig there.
Like in there?
They've got different stage setups. So I think their maximum is about 2,500.
Okay.
So it's a pretty decent size. The capacity Shikari's had for the last two shows has probably been just under that, about 2,000. For their third show, they've actually upped the capacity of the venue and they're doing a different stage layout. Not got a fucking clue what it is, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, after April when I've been to it. But yeah, reviewing the gigs themselves, they were fantastic. The first one we had Blackout Problems and a guy called No Offense. He was a bit shit. Like, well, no offense, but Blackout Problems completely came and stormed the set and was a great opener. No Offense was good, but just lacked energy on stage for me. Coming into Shikari set, but it did get the crowd going a little bit. Just not for me. And then Shikari came and stormed the set that night. I won't do a full rundown of a set list, but it went from first album stuff, so I was very happy.
Wow.
Some songs I've not seen live since 2006 kind of era. So that was very exciting as a big fan. So we've rolled into the second show, which he's not here to talk about his favourite band as everything unfolds. His second favourite band, his locals, as everything unfolds. Supported last night. They've just the fact it's only I'm gonna get my names wrong. Is it Charlie the singer?
I think
Charlie
so.
in the band. Yeah, I think so. She's the only vocalist in the band, which is incredible. But if you've listened to any of the new stuff, which I know we've talked about on the show, she's gained a proper feisty growl, like a proper full-on growl. She always had a bit of a scream on her, but now her live voice is just another level. Really, really good. Opening as well was Cody Frost, who featured on a track called Bull with Enter Shikari as well. Very, very alternative, very kind of new to the game, but very fun. So yeah, it was a good night. I was about an inch away from Rao at one point because he came to do some walks in the crowd and just appeared right at the back of the crowd as he likes to do.
Did you lick him?
Exciting. No, but I did keep some of his sweat in a jar. So
Did you? Did you follow him into his toilet and collect in a jar?
He invited me in. But there's just I think for people who don't know Enter Shikari properly, or people who just know Enter Shikari on record and never seen them live, it's a very different experience. And I think there's something very special about Shikari live because the community of fans that go there, the show they put on, and the energy they put into every night is just another level. And I've never seen a bad Shikari show. Like, I've just never seen one. They just always put the energy into it. Even when they fucked up a lot of songs, like if they've been musically bad, which every band has a night of being rubbish at, the energy just retains it. So,
oh wow,
yeah, I just can't stop seeing them live. Like I just can't stop doing it. And I'm going to keep saying it every time I mention them. They've never played the main stage at Download, and they
apart from the pilot
need to be. Pilot doesn't count.
I love this now that the pilot doesn't count every time we mention it.
It was a second stage that, like, it doesn't really count, does it? Like, it's not the main stage at Download. It was the main stage of the Download pilot. But I want to see Shikari get a good sub-headline or third down slot to Download and absolutely destroy it. But they keep choosing to go into tents, which is fine because the atmosphere is better. But yeah, two very good gigs, and you'll hear another Shikari review some point in April alongside some other stuff, I think. So
because you've got more gigs booked.
Look forward to more Shikari reviews, guys. I've seen another 2 times.
Great. Okay. Well, next we are going to go and have a look at our gig guide to see what's on. So, what gigs or festivals are coming up in the next month or two? Let's pick and choose the ones we would like to mention. Let's have a look. What's going on?
So we have the Sabaton Tour to Endor tours coming up. They are touring with Babymetal and Lordi. They are hitting up 4 arenas on this tour. They're doing the 14th of April in Leeds, 15th of April in London Wembley Arena, 16th in Cardiff International Arena, and the 18th in Glasgow OVO Hydro. Tickets are around 40 quid to 50 quid for standing, and they're available for all dates currently still. So get on it.
Well, I've got a couple of tours to talk about this episode. First, it's going to be Wednesday 13 on their tour, and they're playing a few dates in April of this year, starting off in Bristol on the 6th of April, before moving to London, Glasgow, Newcastle upon Tyne, Manchester, and Wolverhampton at KK Steel Mill. Tickets cost 20 English, Welsh, Scottish pounds plus booking fee. And South of Salem are offering their support for the Bristol, Manchester, and Wolverhampton gigs. And now for something completely different. The other one I'm looking at this episode is the all-metal tribute to the Bee Gees and beyond. Now, this is a heavy metal tribute to the Bee Gees, obviously, and I'm excited. Nanowar of Steel are supporting. Tickets are £20, 25 plus booking fee. And how exciting is that? They've got dates in April of this year, starting on the 19th of April in Oxford, before moving to Sheffield, Liverpool, Birmingham, and finishing off in London on the 27th.
That sounds amazing, actually. I would love to go and watch an all-metal tribute to the Bee Gees.
I'm thinking, O2 Academy in Liverpool.
Oh, wow.
Well, the Academy too, but yeah.
Okay, well.
It's all the smaller bits of the Academy, but yeah.
It does sound like fun, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'd be well up for it.
Yeah.
Giving it all this in my bloody battle jacket.
I know, exactly. Singing Bee Gees. So, if there's a gig, a festival, or a piece of music that you want to recommend to us, let us know on the socials or in the comments below. Just search for Festpod to have your say. Next up, we'll get our Festpod Favourites. This is where we recommend something we've seen that we like. Now, some interesting ones. Some interesting ones this time around. We're going to start off with Rich. What have you got for us? Hello.
So, it's been in my eyes and in my brain all evening, and I can't help but keep thinking about the Spice Girls and their first album, Spice, because
really?
That is a Spice Girls t-shirt you're wearing, isn't it, Daniel? Because it certainly looks like the album artwork for Spice.
Do you mean this white t-shirt with a colourful logo across the front of it that says Festpod?
It's a Spice.
It says Spice. Maybe Spice World.
I'm afraid not. No, see, you're getting me confused there.
Spice
with
Up Your
Scary
Life.
Spice.
The unofficial Spice Girls podcast.
We should do that.
Yeah, I probably would wear a Spice Girls t-shirt.
I mean, I think all three of us in this episode would wear a Spice Girls t-shirt.
Yeah.
I think Eamon probably already has.
I probably have. I went to see them live, so probably got one somewhere.
You went to see them live?
Yeah, on their most recent reunion tour. It was great. We were in like a golden circle. We didn't pay for it. We got upgraded, but
was that in Manchester?
It was Coventry.
Birmingham? Coventry. Oh, Coventry. Really?
Coventry.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, my Festpod favourite this week is Spice World. No, just Spice. Spice the first album. Spice.
I mean, I can see what you mean, my t-shirt, because the letters of Festpod in the logo, you can see through them, and what you can actually see there is our podcast artwork behind there, but it looks a little bit like the Spice Girls
does
album.
Not say something for the lovely artwork that you did, was that it looks like a multi-million selling girl band's album artwork. That's a compliment, by the way. That is a compliment. I'm
taking it as well.
I'm saying that you've captured the essence of those five girls, and you've made it your own. Yes, there we go.
There it is.
5 girls, 1 t-shirt.
Wow.
Is not the video.
Wow.
Filth!
Okay, so if you are interested in a t-shirt, you can get them at Etsy.com and just search for Festpod and you'll see what all the fuss is about there.
I do really like this logo on the t-shirt, by the way. I think it looks phenomenal, by the way. Just
Thank you very much. I did put a lot of effort into making them. Now we travel down the motorway, the A50, to visit Eamon for his Festpod favourite.
Hello there. Hello there again. So this week, hot off the heels of our most recent chat with Trish and Hevs from the Download Forums, I'm actually going to recommend the Download Forums. For those that don't know what a forum is, it's like Facebook, but it's more organised. And you have categories that you can talk in as opposed to like comment threads. But on a more serious note, it's a great place to talk about Download, talk about any other music festivals and gigs, to get to know people. If you've got any questions about the festivals, there's lots of experts in there. And also, if you want to be part of the boardy events that happen, like the quiz, the barbecue, all that kind of stuff, it's the place to be for that, really. So it's a great community with great links into the festival organisers as well. So get yourself over there. You can find it on the main download page.
But is it as good as Festpod?
Well, Festpod doesn't have a forum. So
we could have a forum if you want.
I think if we had a forum, Festpod forum would probably be better than Download.
If we what's Discord then? If that's not a forum,
so Discord is kind of forum. It's a forum / chat room. It's a mixture of the two. It's a modern forum.
One, we've got one. Yeah,
kind of.
On a technicality, we've got one.
On a technicality, we have.
Is Festpod better?
I mean, I'm legally obliged to say Festpod is better. So yes.
Okay.
It is.
All right. So have we usurped your Festpod favourites?
Yes.
Okay.
My Festpod favourite is a Festpod Discord, guys. Get in there.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. And just to keep in on the same sort of theme, my Festpod favourite this week is our Etsy store. We do have some. Do you know what though? We have had a lot of work gone into making all of these bits of merch that we now have available. We've sold some of these new bits already. We've now got hoodies, which are very. I'm told from somebody who bought one that they are very, very comfortable. And $29.99. You won't find a festival hoodie for that price. But ours, look, we've got different colours of the different lot. We've got different colours in black and blue and everything. And also we've got mugs, new updated mugs, which you may have spotted me drinking from already this afternoon. So we have black ones and red ones, £9.99. A bit nicer than the older ones, I think. A bit nice, a bit more colourful, maybe. And we've also got, I tell you, we've got all sorts. There's it's worth having a little browse on there. So just go to etsy.com, search for Festpod, have a look at our beautiful new hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, cups, jumpers, bags, all sorts. Basically, if you like Festpod, you need to get yourself a bit of merch, don't you?
The doormats are great, aren't they?
I want to put a request in. Can we get a doormat with Rich's face on so I can buy 7 of them, please?
Yes. You can spaffle over them.
Have you got 7 doors?
Maybe.
Or are these
I
for
can
indoor
find
use?
7 doors. Yeah.
You're not going to use them in your cat litter tray, are you?
Oh, I might do. Seems like a suitable place. Or maybe just out by my bins.
I mean, it's a shame to do that because they're actually really nice quality. But you could do if you wanted to. No one's going to stop you.
I'm talking about if my face was on it, not a Festpod one.
Oh, I see. Oh, your own. I see.
It was my face going to the cat litter tray.
Yeah. All right. Well, so there you go. let's leave that there. It's time to plug what else you do. Get your plug ready to insert. Let's go to North Wales first and speak to Rich. What else have you got going on? What would you like to let us know about?
My plug isn't ready to insert yet. I'm just.
Oh really? You're getting get it lubed up.
Loosen up.
What else have I got going on? Not a lot. I'm so hard at work with work, and I'm so hard at work with uni stuff, and I'm so hard at work with trying to build us a website, and I'm so hard at work at just being me.
You're hard at work, Rich.
And I suppose that I'm not going to.
Dirty.
No, dirty. Yes, quite.
I'm sure you're Mrs.
and-
Right, are you?
Sorry.
I suppose the thing for me to plug is you can find me on socials at richholmes85. I'd like to give a shout out to my tattoo artist as well, at Tom Thumb Tattoos on Instagram, who's done this lovely artwork of Danny DeVito and some Fight Milk stuff and a rum ham. Give him a shout out.
Is it complete now, your sleeve?
No, I'm having some more stuff done. I just need to find a date and some spare cash. But yeah, I'm liking the kind of patchwork feel on this side. But I've got a bit more space here and here, and then on this arm is going to be all Viking shit.
Oh.
So
There's
nice
room
colourful
for...
on the right.
Yeah. Well, there's room for Ryan Reynolds' face on there, I think. Why don't you, because I know you love them, why don't you get Ryan Reynolds' face tattooed over your own face? Then you could look like him.
I think my body's better than Ryan Reynolds' though, so it just wouldn't look right, would it?
I see. Okay. Robert McElhenney?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Again, his body's nowhere near mine. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to kind of like end up like bumping into Blake Lively or Caitlin Wilson and them mistaking me for their husbands because shit would happen, and I couldn't apologise because I mean, look at me.
Yeah, and I think he's probably a bit taller, actually. I think anyway.
No. I'm taller than both of them.
Really? Okay. Eamon Shorty E. Short. Hello.
Hello again.
Hello
Saying
again.
hello a lot this episode, apparently.
You little bitch.
All feisty. So, as usual, in my slot, I like to plug myself several times a day. I like to plug my streaming, my twitch.tv/shortytv. This time, it's got a slight difference to it. On the 7th of April, 2023, to avoid for clear doubt, I am doing a charity stream, a 24-hour charity stream for Diabetes UK. So I've done a few of these now. They're absolutely fucking exhausting. We've raised over £2,000 so far. We're hoping to hit £3,000 in total this year. So yeah, if you can support that, it'd be great. We've got a Just Giving page, justgiving.com/page/shortytv. But yeah, even if you just come along for the day, have a chat, it will help keep me awake. Just throw some abuse at me.
I've got to say, I'm sorry to step on your toes here, but just the charity streams in the past have been great. It's all for a really good cause, and it's always fun to just pop into the chat and give you shit for an hour or so, if nothing else. Watch you talk absolute bollocks and be really shit at games. But it's all for the cause, and I would thoroughly like to plug that on your behalf as well.
Yeah, you can plug my butt on my behalf any day.
That was me being all sincere and lovely for a change.
Filth!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you filthy bastard.
We can't have too much niceness on this podcast.
No.
Makes me feel ill.
It's all right. Well, I think that's it. I think we've reached the end of Festpod. Episode 35. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with us whilst we go through all the latest news of the festivals.
You got anything to plug?
Well, not particularly. Only the merch, which we've already done.
Is it?
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll shut up.
No, it's fine. So if you have found some value in what you've been listening to here, please consider supporting Festpod on Patreon. It all goes back into the show, and you get rewards as a thank you from us, whether it's merch, whether it's outtakes from the main show, from, looking at this one, there will be some outtakes from this one. I can predict one or two. Just a couple of little videos of mistakes that we've made.
No. Do you know what? If we get enough Patreons, right, you might actually be able to replace me as a presenter and pay for somebody who's actually good at this shit.
Now there's an incentive. Come on, guys, rally round. I'll start.
So go to Patreon and search for Festpod if you'd be so kind. Thank you very much. And why not give us a review wherever you found us? We are on a lot of different apps for podcasts. We're also on the socials and on YouTube. Again, just search for Festpod and interact with us. We'd like to interact with you. And we have a ton of new merch on sale as well. So just go to Etsy and search for Festpod there to find it. So that is it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye. A Wilco Productions podcast.
It's a grower, not a shower for me.